Ultimate Pool USA Iowa Shootout. And boy, and George Walters. My name is Stephen Wyatt, and I am joined by the South Dakota kid in an Ultimate Pool arena, so it's got to be a good.
So looking forward to this all.
No time getting to work. He's overrolled just a tad bit, but I think he's going to be okay with where the 13 sits in the side pocket. It's a pretty easy carom shot. He might be able to see this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shane Van Boening against the local boy, George Walters, who had a great win yesterday, beating Shane Thompson. A lot of people thought it would be the two Shanes taking each other on today, but no. George Walters played brilliantly, but now this is another level for George.
Yeah, I mean, you play all the respect to Shane Thompson. He's a phenomenal player. SVB on a different level. And it looks like from here, SVB is going to break and run his very first rack of many in the Iowa Shootout.
You can see he's left himself the path to the 8-ball. And the living legend that is SVB has this 8 to run the first rack and straight in the center of the pocket. And no surprises.
Do you hear the crowd there? They're appreciating what they're seeing. Let's see what he can do here. Can he hold serve? He's made a ball.
He's made a couple of balls.
He's going to have an opening shot.
That's going to go.
Oh, well, that changes a little bit.
He'd have loved that just to stay there. That would have made life a lot easier.
Yeah, if you watch here, the cue ball got a kiss. It could have ended up back in the middle of the table, but because of where it landed and that 9-ball going, that makes things a little rough.
That's a tremendous. But
yeah, he's got more work to. Really good positioning on it. Watch a cue ball.
Another good break there from Shane Van Boening. Nice cue ball as well. As you quickly look at the table, you look straight away at solids. The one problem is the one next to the 8. Everything else in the open.
Yeah, the 9 ball's in an odd spot, which makes things tough for the stripes.
I'll tell you what, he's gonna move that 1 ball right now.
I think he is. You just got to watch the touch on the 8. And he's done it. Beautiful shot there.
It's just so elegant when you watch him at the table. You know, he's not perplexed in any way, but this is a serial tournament winner, one of the greats of the game.
Yeah, look at this. He's played this very, very strategically. He's going to leave that 5 ball for his last shot.
Absolutely.
So he can just stop it to shoot the 8 in the side pocket. He's just got to clear these up, and I think he's going to do that with no issue.
Well, it's just now 7-3. He's only got to get anywhere just near the 9 ball. We'll just come off the rail. This frame's over.
I think he might be taking it to the side.
Well, he is, yeah.
Yeah. Take it to the side.
Even easier.
Just roll up.
I thought he'd just come up
for the stop shot.
I thought he'd just come up and use the 12 ball just to hold the cue ball, but this is rack number 3 going the way of the South Dakota kid, Shane Van Boening, in full flow, looking very regal.
We ended the night last night with a Kieran Hall perfect set against Dennis Hatch. No missed balls, no missed breaks.
So George Walters now with it all to do. Not played badly.
Yeah, just one small mistake.
Trying to stop the tide.
Yeah. One small mistake on a positional play.
His break's great. I mean, that's a really good break.
Right away, if that 13 ball can sink into the side pocket, which is tough, it's thin. But right away, I like the stripes here. You've got some issues with the 6 ball if you play solids. But the 13 might be a bigger issue if it doesn't fall into that side pocket. He may opt to play solids here and go for the breakout.
Well, I think that's what he's doing exactly. I like his play. I mean, I was impressed with George Walters yesterday against Shane Thompson. And I'm equally as impressed today because he's playing the greatest player, one of the greats of the game.
Yeah.
You know, and this must be a dream as well for George Walters to be stood here playing Shane Van Boening.
Well, and the bigger part of that dream is if he could pull off the upset win.
Well,
can you call it an upset with the way he's playing, though? Again, like you said, he played great yesterday. He's had one positional mistake today. It's still early.
What I like, Stephen, he doesn't look scared. A lot of players would be out there thinking, oh, my God, I'm in an arena. A packed crowd have all come, obviously, to see Shane Van Boening. And George Walters being the local boy. So we pulled up into the parking lot. There's no space. We've had to go around the back of the building. Yeah. So it shows how many people have turned up to watch this. But I'm just so impressed that his feathers aren't ruffled at all. A lot of players would be out there and they would just shrink, you know, and sort of melt into the floor. But
the only thing I don't like here with what George is doing is it looks like he's keeping that problem ball until the last shot. That might come back to bite him here.
Well, he has to really go now. I think he must go. He must feel this goes off the. Well, if he's only just looking now, but he must feel that this goes off the draw and just slides in.
I think he took a glance at it early and decided it did. I hope he didn't second guess.
Well, if you're looking that long now,
I don't think it goes, Tony. It's going to be tight.
Certainly doesn't go like that when you clip the 11.
Yeah, and it was so tight that you have to get
what
close.
I'm going to say is he's looked at that late. I think he's just assumed that went. Yeah. Because why would you look that long, that late into, you know, you're running the rack and you're 5 balls in.
Yeah, I think he took a glance early, but he didn't glance enough. because that ball was very, very tight.
Well, I'll tell you where it'll be glancing very shortly is at the scoreboard, and it's going to be 4-0.
Yeah, if Shane can get out of this issue with the 11, I think the 11 goes cleanly off the 6. The only really tougher shot after this is his opener right here on the 15 ball.
Yeah.
Play it good, you're out.
That's there. Right in the heart of the pocket.
And I like the way he's played this because he's going to give himself no angle on the 13. No risk of scratching, no risk of having any issues. He's opting to play for the 11. It's got to go clean then if he's playing this ball.
Well.
The first miss from SVB. And I don't think he's left a pocket. I think he was willing to risk that because he knew he wasn't going to leave much.
I think the 6 might go. I think if he plays this right, just into the angle of the jaw and hit the 11, it might squeeze past.
He's got to hit it perfect.
Like that.
That's a good shot. George Walters coming with a really big shot when he needed to.
Well, George Walters now, this 5 ball and the 8 to get himself off the mark against Shane Van Boening.
And if he drops this 8 ball, just listen for the crowd because he's got some fans here. And there it is. Big pop there for George Walters, the hometown boy, getting his first rack. The tough part for George now is Shane's breaking, and he's been flawless on his own breaks.
Is this going to be 3 in a row?
Well,
break and run.
The stripes are wide open if he can get an opening shot.
So are the solids.
Yeah, there's a combo on the 6-7.
Combo's easy, though.
Dead in. When you break like that.
Well, we've already given him the rack.
Well, I mean, he's still got to run it out. I always like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but if he can make this opening shot, I don't see any issues. Taking on a little bit of a tester. It's a thin cut. Your cue ball's going to be moving. Trying to get down for that 5 ball so he can take it out of play.
And he's scratched.
That's a huge,
in the side pocket.
Huge miscalculation.
Well, it's the throw on this table. When you hit the cushions, it does throw a little wider than he would have thought it.
Well, Tony, now we got a game on our hands because George has a wide open table to run out and make this 3-2.
Shane would have took stripes if he had an easier starting ball, and I think he thought, well, I don't mind the combo, just make the 4 ball, and I'm going to run the rack. Now, George Walters, he looks very excited as well. He looks like he's got a skip in his stride.
I would too with this layout. I absolutely would come to the table feeling like $1 million because even being the player I am, I don't care who's on the table, whether it's George or Shane Van Boening or the best player ever to compete. If I'm coming to the table with this rack, I feel great.
The great thing is, I'd already given Shane this rack. But it was, well, you wouldn't expect it, would you? And like I say, the throw of the cushion has caught Shane out.
This is why this format is the most exciting thing in pool. Because anything can happen.
He's just checking. But there's nothing really to check. He's just roll this in dead weight. And he's going to have a very simple 8 ball into the top right-hand corner.
And once again, the crowd might even go louder for this one. George lines up the 8 ball to make it 3-2. And him breaking. Very nice out there.
2 in a row. George Walters. We do have the golden breaks in action. And that 8 was... I don't think it would have reached that corner pocket, but if you do break and pot the 8 ball, you win the rack. But we do have the golden duck on the downside of that. So you break, you pot the 8 ball, but you also scratch. That's loss of rack.
Yeah, and I don't think in our 1-year history, I don't think we've seen any golden ducks. We've seen a few golden breaks.
We saw a couple yesterday.
Yeah,
we saw
2 of them yesterday.
Tammy Klutman, and we also saw Dennis Hatch.
Yeah.
2 golden breaks.
I think there may have even been another one earlier on. But here we are. The stripes look good. The 15 ball has at least 2 pockets. So he's got to play this one right to get it. I like cutting the 10 ball and just trying to bump the 6 ball. If you're going to have to bump something, that's the ball you want to bump.
It's going to be hard to hit that 6 because of the throw again off that side rail. It's more likely to hit the 3.
Which is what you don't want. He's just going to move the 15.
Yeah, he came narrow. I don't think he tried to play that. I think he tried to get the 6 ball and it's failed.
He's ended up in a weird spot here.
Can he get through? If he can get through the gap of the 6 and the 1 and see the 13, he's still okay. He's in decent shape.
I don't think he can. I think the 13 is to the right of the gap, which would put him scratching off the 13. I think, if anything, he might have to try and go rail first with some spin.
No, I think it's tight. No, he's going exactly what you said.
And it's tough to do on this table. The spin is going to be a little late on the reaction.
But the 13's a fair way over at the pocket as well.
Yeah, that's tough. And so what he's done here is he's bumped the 2 kind of into the 4. It's going to make things a little rough. The 7 and the 5 are tough, but Shane's going right to work on his problem areas.
I think these are they're not bad. Like I say, you've got ball in hand, so you get
just nothing.
Yeah, but because you've got ball in hand, that gets rid of the 2-4 situation straight away. The 7 does go into the side pocket. You get the right angle on that. You push the 5 down the rail. Everything is pretty much is there for Shane.
He looks like he's eyeing up this combo. I'm not sure I love this. I like playing your way and hitting the gap to shoot the 7 in the side pocket.
I'd be surprised if he plays a combo. I really would. 6 ball.
He's changed his shot. That's good. The combo goes better in the top right than it does the bottom right.
I think 6 and then 7 for me. I go 6, 7, shoot the 5 down the rail, then 3.
Yeah, that's the right play, and that's exactly what he's done here.
The 1, he's got a choice of 1. The 1 will go into the pocket where the 13 is as well. So he's fairly open. He might want to move the 15 at some point.
I think he might be trying to leave the 4 for his key ball.
Yeah,
my first glance is I would try and take it out here, but you make your leave on the 8 ball a little tougher if you're playing the 3. We'll see what he does. Okay. 4 in the top right, 1 in the side, 3 in the bottom right, 8 ball, fielder's choice.
Yeah, that's pretty good position there for Shane. Strokes 1 ball into the side pocket, back off the rail, 3 into the bottom corner, and 8 will go in the top corner.
And this is why he's considered one of the GOATs. This is why he's considered that, because his position play is so good, his pocketing is so good, he's so good under pressure.
He's just checking to see if the 8 ball might go in that right side pocket past the 15. I think he must do.
Yeah, good call. But George has had opportunities and he hasn't been able to capitalize on them. And now we are 4-2.
Is Shane's, when he gets in amongst the balls, doesn't fall out of position. Okay, so he's had that 1 scratch, and I think the throw off the table caught him out there. But George has just made 1 or 2 very small errors of position, and that's the difference between the 2 players. This is what makes the difference between winning and losing matches, is that tiny fine line.
Yeah.
You make the least mistakes, you're the one that's going to win.
And Shane taking the stripes here, and it's almost tic-tac-toe. The 1 ball that he has to get good shape on is the 15, but it's not really an issue with where the 14 lies. I mean, he's literally just going to make a big circle around the table and get out here.
Yeah, but he gets rid of the 13, then the 10. 15, 14's his last ball, 8 in the bottom corner. He'll just leave himself a slight angle here on the 14, so he can just Well, I think he's fairly straight on that. I thought he would have liked to leave himself a little angle just to,
I think
let's say, get the cue ball nearer the 8.
I think he's going to stun it off the top rail and come out just a little bit. Yeah, just like that.
I'm just greedy with position. I want to be a little bit closer, but this is food and drink for Shane Van Boening. 5-2. He's on the hill.
8-ball again moving, but not enough juice.
He's not going to get anything.
This is rough.
Dry for Walters as Shane Van Boening comes out of his seat, approaches the table like the predator he is.
Well, and there you heard the ding in the arena. That beautiful bell sound means it's time to up the pace a little bit. I don't think it's going to matter. After this shot, we will be moving to a 15-second shot clock. So if nothing else, SVB is going to have to speed up just a little bit, but fairly straightforward run out here if he can move that 3-ball and move that 6-ball. And I think he can.
So it's a straight
run
run out. If he can move the 3-ball, the 6-ball, which other ball? Any more balls he wants to move out?
He has balls that are made to just break that out pretty easily. And only 15 seconds. Shane's never played on this shot clock. He is aware of it, obviously, but
well, he played that one very unflustered, like he's been playing with the shot clock for years, because a lot of people would have panicked when they heard the buzzer. Yeah. But he's aware of everything that's going on.
He did use his extension on that one. I don't think he wanted to make that ball, but it's not going to matter.
How's that for a shot?
He's got a good layout to move this 6. Oh, a little stall there.
Yeah. It was almost as if he changed his mind mid-swing.
Yeah, he stopped his contact on the cue ball and changed what he was doing, and I think it's caused an issue here.
I think he was going to stun into it originally.
He's changed his mind and come through.
Yeah.
Shot clock is moving.
That is close.
Well, no buzzer,
No.
so I think he got it off cleanly.
We're talking, that was a millisecond.
And George Walters now on his first.
Well, George Walters still has an extension to use in this rack, and he's not used it. As you can see down at the bottom of the graphic, Shane Van Boening has used his. Well, that's where it says extension there. And George Walters had it there, so he could have taken a little more time.
Oh, no. The same shot he scratched on last time.
In
that
the same
little
pocket.
bit of bottom right to draw the ball out, and he scratches. Now, George, 15-second shot clock, it rattled him last time. He still does have the extension. Needs to be weary of the clock. You don't want to rush, but you can't afford a time foul. It's a very fine line. You see players rush, they miss balls or shape. Oh, no.
Oh, George Walters has just scratched by move. He's cued down. I think his shirt must have touched the ball.
And that's what I was just talking
about. And that's match over. Unbelievable.
If you don't rush, you can get there, but he was very, very flustered by the time. SVB takes down his very first shootout victory in the Ozone Billiards Iowa Shootout.